to our Command Center special from Madrid. We got NFL legends, we got Hall of Famers, we got Washington record holders, and we got the best fans in the NFL, baby. All that and more right now on Command Center. Command Center Madrid special presented by Sports Illustrated Tickets, the official fan experience partner of the Commanders. Experience game day at Northwest Stadium like never before with SI fan experience packages featuring event access, all-inclusive food and beverage, a personalized SI fan cover, and 2 complimentary magazine issues. Make sure your Commanders experience is unforgettable at sitickets.com/commanders. And by Events DC. Events DC is the premier host of conventions, entertainment, sporting, and cultural events in the nation's capital. Fandom happens here. Welcome to Command Center Madrid, Spain special presented by Sports Illustrated Tickets. We are out here in Madrid for the fan rally. Burgundy and gold is all around us. Here with some serious legends. Super Bowl champion and future Hall of Famer, Brian Mitchell, Mr. 8 to the 9, Cowboy Killer, Giant Slayer, like London Fletcher says, Santana Moss. And we are here in the building. And fellas, I mean, look around the show.
Oh, they're here,
this
baby.
This is crazy, man.
They're
There's
here.
not many things in life that can galvanize and bring so many different people from so many different cultures in a whole other country together. But, brother, football did that, man. How happy are y'all to be out here in Spain and to be amongst your own?
I'm thrilled, man. You know what? The thing about it is, like, we haven't had the best year, but these fans have supported from start to finish. Everywhere we've gone on the road, they've been there. And, hell, you look at all the people here right now, you know, over in Spain, it says a lot about what this team, what these fans feel about this football team. And I just think that, you know, this thing is going to build up. We're going to be rolling once again, believe me.
Yeah. I'm so excited, man. I think when you think about it, this is some of the things that I mentioned during that ring ceremony for me, that, you know, when I got inducted into the ring, these fans have never let me down. You know what I mean? So it's time for us to kind of, you know, reward them. And I'm hoping we can get beyond, you know, get past this year, finish strong. But this is why we play the game. Not for the reasons, not only for the reasons that we are already played, but for these people, man, that show up and show out for us each and every week.
Man,
it's not cheap to come over here.
It's not cheap,
and we got a lot of fans over here,
man,
brother.
There's fans from Denmark, Ireland, Scotland, London. We have fans from all over that I've been meeting that watch our shows. We appreciate y'all so much for watching. We appreciate y'all so much, actually, that we're putting on a special. It's not just us three here. We got legends all over the building. Let's send it over to Jakes and Sean Springs over in the cut.
BC, thank you very much.
Hey, buddy.
Look at this guy.
We're in Spain, brother.
We've had a good week.
A great week in Spain.
Week. And you got, here's the thing. I just threw mine on, but you got yours nice.
You know, I tried something. I didn't want it to blow off in the wind, but it also makes me look kind of elegant like the Spaniards.
You're an international man.
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah. I did not realize you have played in an international game.
Yes,
too.
I had the opportunity when I was in New England. We played Tampa in London. It was crazy. Because, you know, you didn't know what to expect. You know, it was like 2010. And all the fans showed up in different jerseys and everything. And they cheered the whole time. It was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool.
I did not realize, like, now that I'm here and have experienced, when people talk about you got to get used to the time difference, you have to get used to the time difference, especially if you're playing in the league and you're used to a set schedule.
Right. It's challenging, obviously. It's 6 hours ahead of where we are on the East Coast. And I'm still getting adjusted, and I've been here like 4 or 5 days. So you got to manage it well, and the team seems to be doing great with that because their schedule's been tight. And we had a chance to go out to Real Madrid, which was exciting to see the soccer facility. So those guys, they got to be on it.
And I'm really surprised at not just the turnout here, which is amazing. I mean, we've got a line down the street here, but also in the city. You can tell as the game's gotten closer, the Commanders fans are really coming out. We got an international presence here.
International presence for the first time being in Spain. The NFL has to be very pleased with the turnout. I love the signs on the stadium and all around the city. We see photos of our guy Jaden Daniels. Yeah. So it's pretty freaking cool. And then all the fans showed up to all our podcasts and the Command Centers, Player Club. They all came on, and it's been great, man.
I haven't seen any. I take that back. I've seen 2 Dolphins fans.
Yeah.
I've met 2.
Oh, we showed up.
It.
Our community showed up. Our fan base
shaking her head, as you should be. I was like, we haven't seen any of these guys. They're not coming over here.
And they know what they're going to get when they come over here. A good old Spanish, how do you say that, whooping?
A Spanish butt whooping?
Yes.
I don't know how you say it. We got to figure that out.
Figure that out.
Yeah. We're going to go in. probably later, or maybe we'll hang out here. I don't know. I just want to talk to the fans and kind of feel the vibe, because you can tell as the game is approaching, you can kind of feel like the hype building and the energy. This is really cool, and you can understand why the NFL wants to be more international.
Yeah, and I think that, they deserve to see this game at least once a year. I don't know if we're going to get a team yet.
Yeah.
We'd love to have a team here because I would love to be the ambassador for that team. But we can't move the Commanders here. But we got a new stadium coming, but I love the NFL having a presence here. I think the fans are going to really enjoy the game.
It's been fantastic. We're going to keep hanging with these fans. We're going to keep hanging out.
Yes.
BC, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Jenks. It's time for the main event, brought to you by Events DC. Events DC is the premier host of conventions, entertainment, sporting, and cultural events in the nation's capital. Fandom happens here. Moises and Juan, take it away.
All right, BC, we're enjoying. I'm actually not enjoying. We're having the time of our life here in Madrid, Spain. Juan Romero, Moises Linares, we are your Spanish broadcast team. And Juan, what a scene. Look at the fans.
It's crazy. You sweating yet? Oh, my goodness.
I'm sweating of excitement, Juan. This is incredible. This Sunday, we have a historic game in Madrid, Spain, the first ever NFL game. We've been talking about it for weeks. This whole week has been about getting the fans excited, including the fans, and getting a W against the Miami Dolphins.
Definitely, that's the most important thing. We came here for a W, but what about the NFL being in Madrid and El Bernabeu, Moises?
It's historic for many reasons. Santiago Bernabeu, now known as only Bernabeu, is the home of Real Madrid, the winningest team in European soccer, one of the most popular teams across the globe. I don't have to tell you the story because you are a fan of that team. Stadium constructed in 1947. What more do you want me to tell you about this team?
I want you to mention the 15 titles, 15 Champions League titles for Real Madrid. Oh, man, it's great. It's been awesome for me to get to know the stadium in and out. We've been in and out of that stadium all week long, and now what did the people say? It's so much color. The NFL brought so much color to the stadium. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's ready for NFL.
And most definitely, like I said earlier, when we talk about this stadium, $1.7 billion to remodel it, to make it up to the standard that we see today, to bring the biggest events. And when we talk about huge events, the NFL's right there next to any event when we mention sports.
Oh, definitely. The NFL is putting on a big show for the people of Madrid. We just went to the NFL shop right now. Every NFL team is represented, but of course, Washington Commanders gear looks so nice out here in the Madrid store.
One of the things that I am most excited about and that I've enjoyed the most as well is the fact that fans are just happy to be here to see the Washington Commanders playing in Spain. I think that's a huge deal. No matter what happens on Sunday, I think we're going to go back home with a great experience.
Hold on. Anybody want to hear a call in Spanish for a touchdown? Let's go, Moises. Let's go.
All right. Jaden Daniels en la yarda número 20 lanza para Terry McLaurin. Recepción está dentro. Touchdown, Commanders!
All right, let's throw it back to Bram Weinstein, English broadcast of the Commanders.
All right, thank you, Moises and Juan. As the week has gone on here, the Commanders fans have literally taken over Madrid. It's been amazing to see the support that's come from overseas here as well. What an amazing experience this has been here.
Yeah, absolutely, but I'm not surprised by the amount of fans that have turned out, because you got to think this is a historic franchise. But as we have been around Madrid, just the love, all the Commanders fans wearing their burgundy and gold.
Yeah.
Amazing experience. This is my first international experience. I don't know if you guys have had other international experiences, but this is awesome.
Yeah, my first international experience too. And I think the crazy thing is there's people from Ireland, from the UK, there's people from Portugal. That's closer than I thought it was. And they're all Commanders fans. They're like, I'm a lifelong Commanders fan. You're like, oh my gosh, how'd you pick this up out here? But it's so cool to see how massive this organization is and was, and hopefully we can get back to kind of supporting this international fan base.
When they announced this back in the spring, there were so many people that I heard from I knew were coming. I'm not surprised by this. I fully expect the stadium to be burgundy and gold on Sunday.
Yeah, I haven't seen many Dolphins fans here, and I don't know. And we've been a lot of different places around Madrid, but you can definitely tell the turnout, the anticipation of our fans being here. And I'm just hoping our team, our guys, show up and show out in that game.
All right,
on
let's
Sunday.
talk about the game a little bit.
Yes.
One of the biggest issues with the Dolphins, especially recently, Devon Achane, their run game. Washington's had struggled stopping the run here, especially in recent weeks. Achane had over 200 yards from scrimmage in a win over the Bills a week ago. So What changes? DQ becomes the de facto defensive coordinator, and clearly he is issue number one.
Yeah, he is issue number one, and I think anytime you go into a football game, from a defensive standpoint, the number one thing we say is you got to stop the run. If you don't stop the run, it opens up so many different things, whether it's in the play-action pass, the big plays you can get in the passing game. But when you look at this Dolphins offense, I know a lot of times people say, hey, you got to stop the quarterback. I look at it and say, we need to stop A-Chain. Stop him, and let's put it on to force him to beat us.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. This offense is a Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, run first instead of play action offense. So in order to kind of make this thing clunky and not work, you got to stop the run first and foremost, because they're going to work off not only deep play action shots, but intermediate play action shots, which have been really killer for them the last couple of years. And then you look and say, oh, well, if you do that, then they have to execute at a high level on third down, and they have not done that really this season so far. So if you can disrupt first and second down, which comes to stopping the run, I think you give yourself a shot.
They obviously have big playability. Since Tyreek Hill got injured, Jalen Waddle, 80-plus yards receiving in almost every game since. He's become a true number one for them. As for Tua, a couple years ago, leading the lead in passing. This year, among the league leaders in interceptions. If you can disrupt him, there are turnovers to be had.
Yeah, there are. I think the thing about Tua, and Logan, you talked about this on some other shows. This offense is about timing and throwing to blind spots and trusting your guys to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. So some of his interceptions, he's just going and trusting guys to be there, and sometimes just being careless with the football too. He'll take shots into double coverage, kind of ill-advised opportunities. There will be there, opportunities will be there for us to make some interceptions. We just got to capitalize on it.
Yeah, he doesn't have the strongest arm, but he really relies on his quick release to get the ball where he needs to go, and teams are getting wise to that, I feel, a little bit. I think, obviously, you mentioned Jalen Waddle. The other piece that's kind of given them some life, especially last week, is Greg Dulcich, the guy that just brought it from the practice squad. He's like a receiver-ish type tight end, and all of a sudden these horizontal passes on keepers and boots have become much more dangerous for this offense. So Mike McDaniels does a great job of giving Tua high percentage throws. And now that you've got some more explosive pieces in the offense, that moves to the forefront with Devin A-Chain catching passes, Greg Dulcich catching passes. And again, he'll turn the football over, but I do think Mike's doing a good job of being aware of his limitations.
We only have a moment here, but on offense, since we are bringing the NFL game overseas, let's introduce them to Washington football. Yeah. The Hogs, a run game, right? Don't we want to do that this weekend?
Absolutely. I think when you look at when we are at our best, the games that we've won, it's been the run game that has been at the forefront, rushing for over 200 yards in a couple of games and nearly 200 yards in some other games. It has to come to life Sunday against this Dolphins defense, because if we don't, the Dolphins, they're going to blitz the heck out of you. They have a bunch of different creative ways to get pressure on the quarterback, but the run game, the big boys, the guys that smell like bacon, they got to do their job.
Yeah, so I 100% agree. And the Miami Dolphin run defense has gotten better the last couple of weeks against Buffalo. They looked really solid. Again, kind of out of character for them. The one thing I will say, though, is I think we got to get first downs. To run the football, we got to give the backs more opportunities. So if you look at our third down percentage since Marcus Mariota's been starting, not very good. That needs to improve dramatically. If they can, I think we can run the football and kind of assert that hog mentality.
The other day, Frankie Luvu was asked, what are the Spanish fans going to learn? He's going to say, he said, violence. You're going to see violence. Let's see it from our newfound
How do you say violence in Spanish?
We'll figure that out.
I'm going to find out.
Yeah, we'll ask Moises and Juan to help us out with that as we send it back to you, Brian.
Shout out.
All right.
Yes, sir. Y'all like that, huh? Yes, hey, shout out to our radio crew. I'm back here with the game day crew right now. My boy B. Mitch, Dan Moss, and fellas, let's talk about this offense. Yes. Once again, Marcus Mariota will be starting. He'll be starting in place of Jaden Daniels, but we know he is one of the best backups in the NFL. If anything, he's a starter in the NFL. What do you expect to see from Marcus Mariota out here in Spain?
Well, Marcus, I watched y'all talking to him the other day, and the dude is so calm. Yeah. He understands what needs to happen. He has experience. And I just think, the game plan has to come out and just basically accentuate what he does best, what this whole team does best, and go for it. Listen, we've had some games where I don't think we really pressed it.
Yeah.
Let's press it. Yeah. You know what? All these fans traveled over here. Let's give them a little something to go with. But I believe if we just could get something going early, we could ride that whole wave throughout the game.
Yeah, I feel like we're at the point of no return already, in this season. I think we lost 5 games in a row. Yeah. So, we had nothing to lose. Man, let this guy open the bag. You know what I mean? Like, we always talk about Cliff going into the bag, open the bag. I want Mariota to have everything at his arsenal. You know what I mean? I want him to be able to go out there RPO, throw the ball to the guys on the outside, get the tight ends involved. That showed them an offense that these guys haven't saw all year from us. And I want him to allow Mariota to be special, man, because I truly believe, when we got a chance to talk to him earlier this week, I let him know, like, man, I'm impressed because I didn't know he had this in him. You know what I mean? And so I'm happy to have him as our backup, but I'm also happy to know that he still can be a starter in this league.
Yeah.
And Marcus Mariota caught up with these guys on the Players Club. Y'all can check that out on Saturdays. And somebody I caught up with was Chris Rodriguez on the Next Man Up podcast. And you talk about getting in that bag for Cliff. I think of Chris Rodriguez when I think about that. And letting Chris Rodriguez get busy. Because the last 2 games we've seen, the more touches he get, he's always moving forward. He's never losing yards. He's always going forward. How important is Chris Rodriguez in the game plan for this weekend?
Chris is the closest thing to B-Rob that we have. McNichols is unbelievable, but McNichols is that change of pace out the backfield guy. Bill is that slashy guy. Chris can lower the shoulders and say, I'm going to see if you – like I tell people, when I play football, I play chicken. I'm going to run full speed at you. Let's see who's going to move, who's going to punk out. Chris Rodriguez is that guy with that type of ability. He can make you punk out. So if you could constantly hit that linebacker, hit that safety in the chest, they don't want to tackle you. He's that type of guy, and I just want to see that. I want to see that accentuated. Washington, when it was great, John Riggins, Ernest Bonner, Gerald Riggs, Clinton Porter, they had hard-nosed running backs. Terry Allen, Stephen Davis. Let's do that. Chris is the closest thing to that. And I understand that we have changed up a little bit, but football is still about who's the biggest bully. And I want to see Washington Commanders be the bullies.
And he talking about bully, Tanner. That makes me think of Debo Samuel. Debo coming, seen him in an all-white at practice, just swagged out, feeling good. I feel like this is one of those games where he knows all eyes on him, and he can have a big moment.
Yeah, I think, man, we need to see a Debo moment. We haven't seen many of them the last few weeks. I know he scored last week, but we haven't seen that game that we can all just hang our hat on and say, that's Debo. That's what we brought him here for. Like I said before, that's a part of Cliff going in that bag and saying, hey, I'm going to let all the tricks out. You know what I mean? I can't hold back nothing. And I feel like going into our bye, when you have so many guys that's still capable and able to go out there and be efficient for us, we have to do that. So, Debo, it might be your night. It might be your day up here, man. You know what I mean? I want to really see this guy come out here and show the world.
Coming down the street.
Show the world what he about.
The bicycle coming down the street. Hide your jewelry, baby.
I'm going to just tuck mine. Now, Beavis, as Tanner mentioned, people, we're banged up. We got a lot of injuries. And one place that we haven't seen a lot of injuries on is our tight end room. Our tight end room, we've been leaning on them more and more. We see Ben Sinnott getting into the end zone. We all wanted to see that. What do you expect to see from our tight ends, and how important are they for us to find success?
I just want to see Zach get back to what he was. Zach was always that insurance policy for everybody. He was there to take care of those guys. I think yesterday, late, I saw Ben Sinnott ended up on the injury report. I want to just see guys, if you're on the football field, injured or not, give me what you have. That's all I want you to do, exhaust the tank.
Hey, it's a good time here with the best fans in the NFL. Let's send it down to our Get Loud podcast crew.
BC, thank you very much. We're out here hanging with the fans. We've seen some people taking photos, people taking videos. I mean, people are hyped for this game. And I got to tell you, like, you could feel the energy, man.
Oh, man, and especially from the Burgundy and Gold. Like you said, we haven't seen many Dolphin fans out here. The Burgundy and Gold, our fans have showed up. They're out here. They're hyped. They're ready to go. We've had a great week here, and the team is going to have a great game on Sunday, I believe.
I kind of
feel the energy.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way as well. And when you have DQ now taking over the defensive play calling. What sort of change is that going to be for this defense? I know they brought down Joe Witt to the sideline. That didn't really work out. So they've tried different things, but now DQ's saying, all right, that's on me now.
At this point, it is on the head coach. And, you know, the good thing about DQ, he's a proven D coordinator. He's done very well as a D coordinator, obviously, with the Seahawks. When they went to Super Bowl, that dominant defense. So he has the experience. And when your head coach is your defensive coordinator, guess what happens to everybody in the meeting room? You take a little extra attention.
You're like, oh,
because,
okay.
If he's taking the time to not only run the team but be the D coordinator, it's very important for us, and it's obviously a problem. With that being said, it doesn't come down all on the play caller. It comes down to the players got to make plays. We have to play better. Each individual on that team has to play better. Starts up front, starts in the back end. We all got to play as one unit. We got some young guys stepping up. Hamilton might play. Ganagami is probably going to play. Jones will be back. So we got some guys that's going to step in and play, and they all got to perform.
So when you have that new voice,
Yep.
like a DQ, and it makes you stand up a little bit, then I think this is a time when people, they pay a little more attention, like you were talking about. And so what can that do as far as motivation? Does it help the motivation, or is just hearing a different voice, it just resonates a little more?
Well, I think it's a different voice,
yeah.
A different perspective. Not that Joe Witt was bad.
Sure.
Obviously, Joe Witt he was dealing with a lot of injuries, and the cards he was dealt was not favorable for any coordinator. So sometimes change is just needed just because it's just a different presence, a different voice, being in our meeting room. And the head coach ultimately comes back, it comes back to DQ, and he has to be able to identify what the problems are. Because it's not just play calling, it's not just the players. We have to solve that problem.
Defensively, when you're going up against a guy like a Jalen Waddle, obviously Tyreek is out, so he's not playing.
Yeah.
But even Achane, they can flare him out and just get him. They just like to get him the ball in space.
Yeah.
So when you have great individual talents like that, what does that mean for you as a member of the secondary?
Even without, Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins got some superior speed. Achane is about the fastest running back you'll see in the NFL, and Waddle can get it done. He's a 4.2 also. They had 2.42. And Walker, they got some guys who are explosive and can make plays, and Tua can get the ball, right? He can get the ball to him. We have to make him uncomfortable. But with that being said, when you know those guys are that explosive, you can't sit back there and give up big plays, right? Don't be surprised if Waddle goes down the field, try to run a 50-yard post.
Right.
Or deep
They will
dead.
try.
They will try,
Yes.
and that's the Dolphins offense. So when you think about the Dolphins offense, they want you to get up on this run game. They want you to stack the box because their best player on the field probably will be Devon Achane. He was outstanding against the Bills. He's continued to be explosive. He's making a name for himself in the league. So people are stacking the box. But when you do, two of them deep overs, the post behind you. So you got to be smart on how you stack the box, but also defend the deep ball.
Does this defense need to be hyper-aggressive in getting after Tua? Look, obviously you never want to let any quarterback get comfortable, but certain quarterbacks really fold under pressure. Even the Colts said earlier in the year, once you get Tua off his first read, you can make him make mistakes. So particularly with him, do we have to be aggressive?
We do. You saw in the last few weeks what happens when you don't have a quarterback. Sam Darnold just came in. Right. With Tua, especially, he's not as mobile as those guys. With Tua, it's a little smaller frame, a little guy. You can get him rattled if you hit him a few times, and I think he will throw you the ball. The key is mix it up, show the different looks, blitz him a little bit, get him uncomfortable in the pocket. Because you're right, if Tua's comfortable in the pocket, he can hit the weapons on the outside, and he'll get it to the explosive players.
Just wonder your thoughts on how the Dolphins suddenly put together a couple wins against have you seen anything different? Or you know what? Maybe it's a situation that we're in, which is like, we got nothing to lose, man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly what it is. They went up to Buffalo, like, the Buffalo came down to Miami. They had nothing to lose. They threw the kitchen sink at Josh Allen, and they confused him. They jumped up on those guys early, 16-0. When you're playing a team like that, they're very dangerous. The records are the same, but it feels a little different between the Dolphins and the Commanders. But I like our chances.
I do too. Nothing to lose. That's where we're going to talk to the fans. I think there might be a drink in our future too.
A few drinks.
A few drinks. BC, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, fellas. It's time for your top ticket matchups presented by Sports Illustrated Tickets, an official fan experience partner of the Commanders. Upgrade your game day at Northwest Stadium with SI Fan Experience Package, event access, authentic SI perks, and unforgettable moments. Get yours today at sitickets.com/Commanders. Fellas, take it away.
All right, thanks, Brian. Time to give you some of our top ticket matchups for the game. And let's start. We talked earlier about Devon Achane and the challenge that he presents for the defense, and specifically for Bobby Wagner and the linebackers who have to figure out a way to limit him.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at Achane, explosive type of runner, 4.3 speed. And with the Dolphins, they utilize him all over the football field. They put him in motion. They get him out on jet sweeps, the run game, catching passes out of the backfield. So our linebackers, not just Bobby, our linebackers are going to have to pay a ton of attention to Achane, not allow him to get going. He does a great job of breaking tackles. He's only 5'8", but he breaks a lot of tackles, runs stronger than he looks. So you got to be aware of him, but we cannot allow him to have explosive plays in the run game or explosive plays in the passing game.
Yeah, I know it's just the linebackers we're talking about here, but I think about the safeties and their role in covering Achane, right? Because like one of the things that Joe Witt Jr. tried to do was kind of limit Bobby's availability and coverage on the back. So I think what we're going to see is, does Quan handle it? Does Reeves handle it? How is our communication in those moments? Because I think that's going to be huge. They use him so much on misdirection, getting to the flat, and it's so easy to get picked. So how do we communicate that, not only with the linebackers, but with the entire defense, because he's that kind of playmaker.
Yes. One of the strengths of the Miami defense is their pass rushers, Bradley Chubb, Matthew Judon, a couple of linebackers that will blitz as well. Jordan Brooks leads the NFL in tackles this year. So I'm looking at Laramie Tunsil and Josh Connerly as well, needing to have a big game in their matchups this weekend too.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I think about this too is it's not just Laramie Tunsil and Connerly, it's the entire offensive line, because Anthony Weaver is so good at bringing kind of unusual pressure packages, right? He's going to bring a simulated pressure. He's going to bring 4-man overloads. And so what does that mean? That means all 5 of us and the running back, quite frankly, have to be seeing those protections at a high level. So not only do they need to be concerned about the individual one-on-one matchups that you alluded to there, to me it's a schematic thing you got to be aware of, right? Because you think about the third down thing that we've struggled with this year, a lot of it is with third down pass protection, just getting it communicated. That's going to be tested tomorrow at a very, very high level.
Yeah, part of the third downs, making sure we're not in those third and long situations. So being able to run the ball, being in a lot more third and
win those matchups on first, second down, right?
First, second down. But as Logan mentioned, with this Anthony Weaver, he comes from the Baltimore Ravens, defensive background, family background, bunch of overload pressures, things like that, creating free runners. So you have to be on point. There will be some situations where the quarterback has to account for the unblock rusher as well, getting the ball out of his hands, knowing, hey, making sure we're on top of our game from a protection standpoint, all that type of thing is going to be paramount in this ball game.
This team cannot catch a break with injuries. Traylon Burks comes up, has a nice game, now out suddenly. Terry's not playing again, Noah Brown not playing again. Where does a big play come from?
Yeah, I think it's got to be from the tight end room, quite honestly. I think when you look at Zach Ertz and his production last week, that's the most explosive element of our offense. So now can we get a young player in Ben Sinnott coming along too? Again, he's maybe not the most nuanced route runner, but he's explosive. Can we get him the ball in space and let him work after the catch? I think that might be where I'd look to find that explosive opportunity.
I think when you look at our situation from a receiving standpoint, Jalen Lane, he had the big 41-yard reception last week. Maybe he's able to. Maybe they add a little bit more to his plate to create those situations. You get him one-on-one, whether it's against a safety or a corner down the field. He has the type of speed that he can utilize that, and he's got a guy that can create them explosive plays for us.
Looking for a little magic in Madrid as we send it back to you, Brian.
Fellas, we are about to wrap our Command Center special out in Madrid.
Yes.
Dog, this is crazy.
It is.
Wow, the best fans in the NFL show them out like they always do. Fellas, this is our last time rapping before game day. How y'all feeling as we head over?
Man, I feel great. It's been an amazing experience so far out here in Madrid, and let's hope our team goes out and have an amazing game and an amazing win out here.
I just hope that, the team can understand how important they are to so many people. And I hope they could just take some of that vibe, some of the energy that these fans have, take that to the game field. You take this to the game field, you're going to kick the Miami Dolphins' ass, point blank.
I love it.
Fletch, you think you still got that in you to get these people going crazy before we end the show? Let's see what you got.
Man, I'm international Fletch.
Let's see what international Fletch got.
Let's go, come on.
That's how we do it. We are Command Center. We got the best guys in the middle. Shout out to everybody that was here. Shout out to all the fans. This is Command Center Special Spain out here in Madrid with my guys right here. We'll catch y'all on game day.
Don't leave me hanging.
How about that, brother?
Damn it, dog.
I'm in the mix. Command Center Madrid Special presented by Sports Illustrated Tickets, the official fan experience partner of the Commanders. Experience game day at Northwest Stadium like never before with SI Fan Experience packages featuring event access, all-inclusive food and beverage, a personalized SI fan cover, and 2 complimentary magazine issues. Make sure your Commanders experience is unforgettable at sitickets.com/Commander.